Was the worst year for a lot of us for our mental as well as physical health. So joining us this morning is best-selling author, coach Lisa Goldenthal.
Hello and welcome. I'm Lisa G, your host. You're at the top of your game, yet the game is changing faster than ever. Strategies that got you here aren't the ones that'll keep you here. The pressure is relentless, and the fear of obsolescence looms large. That's why I'm here. Welcome to the new podcast series, Disrupted: How to Be Gritty and Unlock Performance in Business, Mindset, Wellness, and Success to help you master disruption.
Thanks for coming, and I'll see you soon.
He's a Harvard grad who's appeared on Quarter Life Comeback, Good Day DC, spending 10 years in finance before launching a private coaching practice, working with corporate execs, elite athletes, leadership teams, helping launch and leading a program which serves more than 5,500 people from 95 countries, regularly teaching personal growth, positive psychology, peak performance, habit creation, wellness, relationships, and leadership, and a top 10% Ironman finisher, Michael Balchan. Welcome.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here, Lisa.
So nice to have you here. Did I say your name right?
Yeah, it's perfect.
Okay, awesome. Well, I want to jump right in with the content for our audience and talk about habits. This is one of my favorite topics that stick, and I know you have an ABC formula. So can you elaborate on that?
Yeah, so we like to break habits up into a couple different pieces. One is how to install a habit. So how do we take those things that we want to do, make it part of our lives? We say use our willpower wisely to install habits that run on autopilot via algorithms. The whole idea is our brain is brilliant. We want to train it to love doing the things that are best for us. And we can use this process such that we're not spending an ounce of willpower. The great willpower exemplars actually play offense, not defense. So they're not trying to walk through the dessert section, say, don't eat that, don't eat that, don't eat that, don't eat that. They're taking the decision off of their plate. So we've got a habit installation process with some ABCs. And then we've got a habit deletion process. We want to be able to install habits that we want to be able to delete the habits that we don't want. And then take a moment and say, okay, what are the top habits that are running my life? And how do I intentionally create a short list of those things I just want to be doing on a day-to-day basis? Going to the habit installation, ABC: anchor, behavior, and celebration. So starting with an anchor, a cue, a prompt. I think BJ Fogg, a Stanford habit researcher and expert, says no behavior happens without a prompt. If there's not a prompt, a cue in our environment that's going to start that behavior from happening, it's not going to happen. So we want to have that anchor be obvious. We want it in plain sight. And then we want to have that behavior, the B, be as easy as possible. Start it, install it, get it going, and then build from there. So it'll sound silly and simple. One push-up, or floss one tooth, or pull one weed from the garden. But the Newton's law, right? An object in motion stays in motion. An object in rest stays at rest. So if we can get ourselves to find an anchor or a prompt around our environment, or tie it to an existing set of behaviors that we're doing, make that new behavior so tiny, so small that it's impossible for us to fail.
Right.
I don't have time to do 30 or 60 minutes in the gym, but I have time to do one push-up. I have time to do one squat. And then we want to celebrate that. So anchor behavior and then celebrate it. BJ Fogg said celebration might be the next gratitude. It's going to be the next big thing. And if you imagine the Olympics are going on right now, pick your favorite Olympic sport. My wife loves figure skating. We've got a team member on her. Yes, it's amazing. The triple Lutz. Got an amazing team member, Lauren, who actually competed on the Olympic bobsled team. She won a silver medal.
Oh my gosh.
Pick your favorite Olympic sport, or if you're a soccer fan, World Cup, whatever it is, and imagine winning a gold medal, just delivering the gold medal winning performance. You finish your routine, you crushed it. The scores come up on the board and you see, I just crushed it. How would you celebrate? I'm full body goosebumps. And it's more like thinking of the joy and the passion, like, yes, we want to try and capture that same or similar levels of enthusiasm and excitement when we're doing these little behaviors. Because what happens is we do the little behavior, we flood our system with endorphins, with the celebration. Our body says, yes, that was amazing. I want to do that again. I want to do that again. So we're linking that habit to feeling good. And then our body wants to feel good. So when we celebrate those little behaviors, when we celebrate those tiny things, it starts to implant it within us. So that's the ABCs.
That's the ABCs. Okay, so let's break it down just a tiny little bit more for our audience. I love this, Michael. So basically, an anchor would be
a prompt, a cue, something in your environment that's going to remind you to do the habit.
Like a kettlebell or something like that.
A kettlebell, walking by your kettlebell in the office. I got a couple down here. Every time I walk by the kettlebell, maybe that's my cue, my prompt to do a single kettlebell swing. And then you can also anchor it to an existing routine. So let's say you want to start flossing your teeth.
Right.
Perfect. Let me do that after I brush my teeth. I don't have to think twice. I know twice a day I'm going to the bathroom and brushing my teeth.
Yeah.
Let me anchor flossing to that existing routine that I'm already doing.
I also love so much in these crazy, uncertain times how you bring up a celebration, because I think so oftentimes some of us like type AAA people are always like on to the next thing and what's missing instead of celebrating a small win. And the way you mentioned the Olympics, I'm obsessed with the Olympics right now. And I love watching how hard these people work. And even when they fall, they get back up, they keep going, they never quit, and then they're still happy.
Absolutely. And you bring up a couple really, really great points. First and foremost, and it was so funny, I was talking with Lauren about this the other day. It was like, her contribution to the Olympics was something like 30 seconds, right? Like it's in the bobsled, boom, down the chute. But she spent 4 years training leading up to that one moment. And goals are really, really important. We want to have goals. We're teleological beings, which means targets. Targets are important for us. But if we're judging ourselves based on the outcome of actually hitting that target, then we're losing the entire time until we get this 1 30-second moment, and then it's over and it's on to the next one. So we want to flip that on its head and say, rather than focus on the outcome and success or not in that moment, let's focus on the process and celebrate win every single time that we execute our process. Every time I floss that one tooth or do that one push-up, I'm going to celebrate that. I'm celebrating that I'm doing the things that I said I was going to do. And we're working with MedLab, best design firm, best technology firm in the world. They built Slack, Tinder, Uber Eats. They're absolutely amazing. And we wanted to partner with them to build our social training platform, the heroic social training platform, and really bake in this idea of celebration. So we worked with them over countless months to develop this target swipe gesture. So in the morning, you commit, this is what I'm going to do today. These are the targets I'm going to hit, the behaviors I'm going to do. And then as you actually hit those targets, you follow the process, you're going to get to swipe, boom, like pulling back on a bro string, releasing a target, releasing the arrow and hitting your target, and get this dopamine inducing surge of, yes, I did the thing that I said was important to me.
And enjoy the journey. That's the part that I think is so important, because I myself, sometimes I'm always striving for something without enjoying the process. And I know I should.
Yeah, and we want both, right? We want to have that thing to strive for. Tal Ben-Shahar, taught the largest course in Harvard's history, one of my favorite professors. He's got a great line in different type of archetypes for how we go about this. He said that the key to happiness is both having that goal, having that thing that we're going after, and also learning to enjoy the journey. So it's not either or, it really is truly both. Can we have that thing that's inspiring, that's challenging, that draws us up and forward into that next best version of ourselves, while celebrating and enjoying the process along the way, knowing it's not going to be perfect, knowing we're not going to be perfect, knowing there's going to be challenges and obstacles, and we're going to fall on our face, but can we get back up and take that next step and just love that process?
I love that. I love the duality of having both rather than either or, and how beautifully you describe the ABCs. And now moving on, there's another topic that I've been dying to discuss with you, because this is a hot button right now, the ever-changing world of social media and how it's directly related to our psychological thought process, behavior, and adaptations. And how do we have boundaries around social media, and just expound upon what you mean by that?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, we love technology. We are a technology company. We are building a social platform. So it's not that social media is bad. We just have to be aware of when we're engaging with different types of social media, what are we using it for? And what are those companies, what are they using us for? Because if you think it's completely free and that it's the product, but you're not paying for it, really that means that your attention is the product. And they're trying to mine as much of your attention as possible and sell it for advertising, et cetera. Again, it's not bad per se, but there are just unintended catastrophic consequences of that attention economy. Let me get your attention by saying, here's this free thing, come check it out, and let me sell that attention for ad spend, et cetera. So
I love that. Yeah.
We want to take the absolute best parts of social technology, of behavioral design technology. We want you to be addicted, but just be addicted to the things that are best for you. Be addicted to putting your phone away when it's time to be present and focused with your family. Be addicted to hitting the gym on a consistent basis and eating the foods that make you feel most nourished and full of life, and getting a great night of sleep and sitting down to do that creative, difficult, challenging work that you just feel so inspired and called to do and show up. We want you to be addicted to those things because those are the things that you have decided are best for you. So using these elements of social media, and then leveraging the power of community. We like to say that there's two ways to change your life: wisdom and community. Wisdom is inside out. So maybe there's an idea that I learn, I apply it to my life, and that can help me make a change. Community is outside in. And you could make a case that the fastest way to create change is to join an inspired community, which is part of why we love these different social technologies. Let me join communities where I feel inspired, I feel encouraged, I feel driven to step up as that next best version of myself. Unfortunately, with a lot of the technology and the platforms currently out there, they don't have our best interest in mind, which again is why we're creating the Heroic Social Training Platform. And we can do some things in the near term just to ask ourselves, again, what are we using social media for? What are we using these technologies for? Is it to create connection? Okay, if that's our goal, do I feel more connected to the people that I'm engaging with or not? Perfect. If I want to feel more connected, maybe that's not the right pathway. We want to be conscious of when it's taking control of our attention, it's using us, we're being a tool to it versus it being a tool for us. Right. And just create really, really bright guidelines and bright lines around when am I going to use it, when am I not going to use it. One of the things we ask our coaches, I don't know if there's my certification up there. So we've got a coach certification program, again, 10,000 plus people from, I think, 115 countries currently are going through or have gone through this coach certification program. Right. And there's not a test on, do you know X, Y, and Z? That's not how you earn a certification for our program. The way you get it is by demonstrating a commitment to living the practices of your philosophy. Right. One of the things that we ask coaches to do if they want to earn a certification is turn off technology 1 hour before going to sleep. So we call this a digital sunset. We like to say that when the sun's going to bed, put your technology to bed. An hour before you're going to go to sleep, put your technology to sleep. Allow your mind to slow down and calm down. Most of the technology is stimulating, go, 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 go. If our mind is racing and then we think, oh, I'm just going to hit the pill and boom, done, fall asleep. No, it's not that easy. We got to give our mind time to slow down. And that blue light's stimulating us. It's telling our body, be awake, be awake, be awake. So our coaches, to earn a certification, technology away 1 hour before you want to go to sleep so that you can have higher quality sleep. So you can wake up feeling refreshed, feeling ready to hit the next day powerful. And this is another thing we're baking right into the Heroic app. We're going to call it hero mode. Imagine telling the app, okay, boom, it's now time for me to get off my phone. It's now time for me to prioritize being with my family, distraction-free, present. My 3.5-year-old will tell me, Dad, put your phone away. She knows. She can feel a lower quality of attention when I'm either with her or not with her. So having it baked into our technology such that it will remind us gently, playfully, hey, are you sure it's getting pretty late where you are? Maybe it's time to pause on tech usage for now and put your focus on your family or your relationships or getting a great night of sleep. And that's something we can do right now. I know it's easier said than done. And I know those phones, they speak
so
to us. They call us,
it jumps into my bed when I'm not looking.
So having the phone out of the bedroom is a really, really easy line to put into place. Again, easier to say than to actually do, but having fun with it. And there's something called the iPhone effect. So just having a phone in sight or in touch will decrease the quality of interactions with other people. Even if it's not even your phone, bring people into a lab. One group has a conversation with a journal on the table next to them. One group has a conversation with a phone on the table next. And the group that has the phone in there, decreased quality of conversation, decreased quality of interaction. So having that phone out of sight, out of touch when you're present with somebody else. And then knowing that, yeah, there's things you can do on your phone. I use my phone to meditate, etc. But if the meditation app is next to the Instagram app or next to the whatever app that's I tend to get sucked into, it's going to call at me. Again, Lisa, to the extent that this would be exciting for you, cool. To the extent it doesn't resonate with you, cool. But I would have fun today playing, okay, maybe it's not an hour, but maybe it's just 5 minutes or 10 minutes of putting the phone.
Yeah.
Out of the bedroom.
Small steps, the ABCs of tech detox and boundaries, and how much also too is that going to help us have more focused work time and be more present too. Like, don't you ever think it's totally rude if you go to a lunch or a dinner? And I've done this. I've been that person where people are not focused on you. And I didn't realize how bad I was. I'm like, oh, let me just do a quick story, but everyone else does. And they're too polite to tell me.
And you feel it, right? When someone else is doing it to you, it is a felt sense of whatever's in that phone is more important than me. And that does not
and you're not present in the moment.
And yet we all do it, right? Well, just let me take this one moment but starting with ourselves, right? And not, hey, put your phone down, like be with me present, starting by demonstrating that you're willing to be there present. If your phone is, again, out of sight, out of touch, airplane mode in your purse, and you're just sitting there waiting, right? Just like you're being fully present, the other person's on their phone, they start to feel self-conscious because they know that's not the right way to engage in interaction, engage in a relationship.
And also too, how can we just get into total focus mode by turning that phone on airplane mode and just jumping into work and just having that strict boundary once we start with baby steps of time away from the devices so that we can actually work and GSD, get stuff done.
Yeah, I love it. David Allen, he's great. And we've got such an amazing treasure trove of resources. You gave me my quick backstory, and I just feel so grateful and blessed to have found Brian Johnson, the creator of Optimize and Philosopher's Notes, the founder and CEO of Heroic. He has changed my life many, many, many times over. And we purchased so Heroic purchased Optimize, and we now give it away for free. We've got Philosopher's Notes, 6-page PDF, 20-minute MP3s on great books like David Allen's Getting Things Done and Cal Newport's Deep Work, and so many other great books. And Brian takes the book, he reads it, he distills it into what he thinks are his favorite big ideas, puts it out there. We've also got 1,000 +1 micro lessons and Optimal Living 101 masterclasses, all available for free. Optimize.me, you can check that out. But I share that for two reasons. One, getting things done, love it. And two, in our coach certification program, one of the things that we teach people is this equation: energy focused on what's important now to the power of consistency. And this equation we're baking into our Heroic app. And one of the whole points of the app, so the one thing we're going to do better than anything else out there is help you move from theory to practice to mastery.
Right.
We all know what we...
I like the action part.
Yeah, action. We all know what we can be doing or could be doing. I don't like to use the word should, but we don't need to read another book or watch another TED Talk, whatever it is. We need to actually take those things and apply them in our life.
Right.
So moving from theory to practice to mastery. And we want to help people cultivate a lot of energy, a high degree of energy, focus that energy. So energy times focus times what's important now. So can you be energized 100 out of 100 or 101 out of 100? Can you focus that energy on what's important now? Not once in a while, but day in and day out, moment by moment by moment, hour by hour, to the power of consistency. So when we think about how can I focus on doing the work that's most important? Well, if we're feeling really tired, if we didn't get a great night of sleep, if we didn't get that endorphin boost from our morning workout, our energy is going to be low. We're going to have a harder time focusing on the thing in front of us. We're going to have a harder time performing at whatever that thing is that's in front of us.
Right.
If our focus is low, so maybe we're showing up ready to go, 100 out of 100, but instead of being able to focus on writing that next paragraph or that next sentence or sending that next email or making that next call or whatever it is, we've got our computer dinging alerts at us. We've got our phone over there dinging alerts at us. Our focus is bifurcated. It's diffuse. We're not able to actually create meaningful change. I love the metaphor of a magnifying glass, right? So the sun's rays, when brought to a focus through a magnifying glass, can literally set fire to a piece of paper. If you haven't tried this, highly recommend you actually grab a magnifying glass and see the power. Oh, that's really hot. But it takes that focusing power of the magnifying glass to harness that energy of the sun.
That
Same things with us.
We need that, right? And I just have one more question for you. So I know we've been talking for a while and we don't have a lot of time, but I just love the whole topic of my podcast has been launched during a pandemic to help people be unshakable, unstoppable, unbreakable, and keep going. And do you have just one more question I want to ask you about anti-fragile and how can that help us?
Absolutely. I love anti-fragility. So this is a concept that Brian first found from Nassim Taleb. And this is going to be objective 2, I believe it's in basic training for the Heroic app. So we've got 7 objectives we'll walk you through: how to know the ultimate game and how to play it well, how to forge anti-fragile confidence and heroic responsibility, how to optimize your energy, work, love, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But anti-fragility is a really, really powerful concept. So most of us know what the word fragile means. If you're fragile, you get kicked, you break. It's a glass thing, it drops, it's going to break. And we might say, okay, well, what's the opposite of being fragile? Well, I know there's being resilient, and that's better than being fragile. If you're resilient, you can get kicked around a little bit, but you're going to be able to withstand it for a little bit until you can't. And even resilient things break down after a while. So the actual opposite of being fragile is anti-fragile.
Love that.
The more life kicks us, the more challenges we face, the stronger that we get. And human beings, we are anti-fragile when we approach life in a certain way. You can imagine a wind, right? A wind would extinguish a candle, but fuel a fire. If there's a big fire going and there's a lot of wind, that fire is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. That fire is anti-fragile. And we as humans, when we encounter a challenge, when we encounter an obstacle, one of our mantras is literally ohms: obstacles make me stronger. You know that that's a challenge in your path, but you've got what it takes to show up powerfully to it. And no matter what happens on the other side, whether you win, whether you overcome that obstacle, or whether that obstacle defeats you this time, you're going to learn from it. You're going to get stronger as a result of having faced it. Again, going to your kettlebell, we don't go to the gym to lift styrofoam weights. No one's like, I'm going to go to the gym, put on 0 pounds, or like, give me the helium balloon. No. You go to the gym to fail. You go to the gym to lift things that are really, really heavy, that challenge you, that maybe you're not able to complete that first or second or third set because you're pushing the amount of weight that you're capable of moving. Same thing with life. If we're constantly embracing the challenges that are right up on the edge of our comfort zone, right up on the edge of our capacity, we're feeling challenged. And by the way, say challenge versus threat. Physiologically, it makes a difference in you if we feel like we're approaching a challenge versus being threatened by something. Maybe that's a screaming baby. I got, again, the 2 young girls. Sometimes in the middle, it's like, wow, I'm tired. She's emotionally dysregulated. This has given me an opportunity for me to practice be even more grounded, be even more centered. Can I focus more deeply on my breath? Can I more deeply share love with her and just let her know she's safe and I love her and everything's going to be okay? And it's hard. Anyone with kids knows, like, it's really, really hard sometimes. And sometimes we fail and sometimes I'm not perfect, but all the time I'm not perfect and often I fail. But if I can learn from that experience and get better the next time, maybe I'm building a business, going after the next client or whatever, and I have a phone conversation and I'm scared and I don't know what's going on. And I make that offer and they say no. I can say, oh man, that's because I'm not good or my business isn't good or whatever it is. Or wow, let me get really curious. Let me practice the virtue of curiosity. Can I take that? Can I see what was working? Can I see what needs work? Can I use that experience to get stronger? That is anti-fragility. And again, I cannot wait for basic training and heroic to go deeper on this myself, to use tools. The app's going to have a bunch of tools that literally, how do I cultivate a little bit more curiosity in this moment? What's a step-by-step process I can follow to be more anti-fragile? Oh, this thing just happened. Help me show up with an anti-fragile mindset to this and grow stronger as a result of having experienced this challenge.
Well, that is what my podcast is all about. And I love what you're up to in the world, Michael, and your energy. Like, if you guys are just listening to this, you're missing the energy of a rock star over here. Great smile. Where can people find out more about Heroic and everything you're up to in the world?
Sure. Heroic.us, HEROIC.us, US, us together, right? This isn't about any individual. It's not about Brian. It's not about me. It's about you. And it's about us together. Let's change the world one person at a time together, starting with you and me and us today. So heroic.us is the URL. You can learn more about the Heroic Training Platform. The training platform launches on April 9th. We're following up with social later this year. We're currently running a promotion. If you join now as a founding member, the first 10,000 founding members can get 50% off forever, for life. So it's typically will be $70 a year for an annual membership. That price has dropped down to $35 a year forever for the first 10,000 founding members. You can learn more about that at heroic.us. I have become a better human just in imagining using the app as we've gone about creating it with our incredible partners at MedLab. And then for that free wisdom, again, 600 plus philosophers notes that share the big ideas from all the best books in personal development, ancient wisdom, modern science. Head to optimize.me. We've also got apps at optimize.me. You can download the 50 101 masterclasses. Maybe you want productivity 101 or purpose 101 or anti-fragile 101. There is a 60-minute masterclass, top 10 big ideas, along with an illustrated workbook to walk through, etc. at optimize.me. We're really fired up about it, and just feel just really blessed. We have an astonishing community, people from every single country around the world. We're owned by our community, so we made history with the largest crowdfunding Reg CF round ever. We're really proud to be a public benefit corporation that's owned by our community, and to kind of be united under this shared purpose, this shared mission to change the world one person at a time together, starting with you and me and us today. And Lisa, you are out there contributing, right? You are out there doing the same kind of thing. Can I make a positive impact on my own life? Can I make a positive difference on those around me? Can I help share some wisdom, help people move from theory to practice to mastery, so that we can collectively be a force for good in the world, be a positive force for positive change. It's a global movement where personal transformation leads to massive social change. And we're fired up about it. We're excited and grateful to be in this position and doing the best we can to play our roles well and create a world in which 51% of the population is flourishing by the year 2051. And just feel so blessed to be connected and to meet and grow with a community of like-minded individuals who are all ultimately committed to maybe not the exact same language, but something similar. I know there's a change that we can make together. I know the world that we're currently living in isn't the world that I want us to be living in going forward. And can I do what I can in this moment to create a little bit of change to bring about that brighter, better future for ourselves, for our kids, for our communities, for our world, etc.
Well, thanks for being guest on Whole CEO with Lisa G, Michael.
Thank you so much, and have a fantastic day.